sometimes instead of splitting cells, you need to combine cells into one. So let's look at a couple ways to do that. The first way, we'll use a regular function. So let's go to the Formulas tab, and we're going to go to the text category. And the name of this is actually concat. Now, I know that's a funny name. They shortened concatenation, which is an even crazier name. But I'm going to tell you, if you really want to sound like an Excel guru, you just tell people you're going to concatenate something, and it makes you sound like you know what you're talking about.
Okay.
So go ahead and click on concat. And what we do is we tell it the cells that we want to combine into one. So what we're going to do, clearly, is pull the last name and the first name into one cell. So let's do last name, comma, first name. Okay. So text 1 is going to be last name. We'll click there. And then we'll go to the next line. Go ahead and click in first name. And look at the sample. Look what happened here.
I put the last name and first name.
All running together. No space, no comma, nothing. So Excel's not going to figure out that it needs a space between those two. You have to actually tell it.
Okay.
So what we're going to do, instead of putting the first name here, is we're actually going to type in comma, and you have to hit the space bar. That's an actual character in Excel. So we typed in comma space. Now go to the next line, and you're going to select the first name. And go ahead again, look at the little sample, make sure it looks right. We've got Pope, comma, space, mini. And then just go ahead and choose OK. And you can copy that on down. You can put as many cells together as you want and just keep adding them, but generally you're going to want to put spaces between those of some sort. Now, it is possible to do the same thing without actually using that concat function. So let me show you how this works. It's going to be the same principle. In other words, you have to tell it all the different cells, and then you have to put the spaces and commas and everything else in between. Let's say that we want to combine the building and the campus in that order. So we need that in a cell. So we'll just click there in G2, and we'll type in the equal sign. And then the first cell that we want is the building. So we'll click in D2. Now, here's where it gets interesting. We use the ampersand for this. So we're going to do equals D2, and we're going to do an ampersand. And we actually do want a space between these cells. So remember that we have to type in a space. Now, since we're typing in this function, we have to type in quotes. So it's going to be quote, space, quote.
Okay.
That's what we actually typed in. And then here's where people get off the rails a little bit. They forget that you have to put another ampersand in. You have to have an ampersand between every single piece of this. So we'll do another ampersand. So D2, and then we combine that with a space, and then we combine that with cell C2. That's it. We'll enter, see what happens.
It combined the two cells.
Exactly. So if you'd rather write it out that way, you can do it, or use that concat function. We'll just copy that on down. And that's another way to combine multiple cells. And of course, you could do this across sheets. It doesn't have to be cells that are right next to each other like we're doing here.
Okay. This is really helpful. And I've been doing things manually, and this is a much better way.